Today we're going to learn how to install Healenium into your project. So Healenium is an AI/ML power-based tool which can help Selenium to find new identifiers and cases when those were changed. So if you go to official webpage of Healenium and you go to the Docs tab, we can see that to download and install Healenium, there's two ways, right? So we can do a Healenium proxy or a Healenium web. Today we're going to talk about the Healenium web. To get started with Healenium web, we will need some things beforehand. So we will need the Docker Compose file. We will need the Maven dependency, and we will need to create a Healenium properties file, and we'll need to do some code changes. To get the Docker Compose file, we can go to Healenium Git repo, and we can find that file in here with its context what we needed. We can go to Maven repo and install those dependencies, find those dependencies and install into our project. I created the Maven Java TestNG framework, and in my pub.xml file you can find two repos. The first one is a Healenium, the second one is postage SQL. We'll need that as well because the Healenium saves the identifiers of the web elements into its database. We will also need this file in our project. So when we run our containers, this folder is being created in our framework. The DB, SQL, and init, but the third one should be actually a file and not a folder. So if you don't have that file and you run the container and you see something is wrong, just check if you have that file in your framework. Most likely it's just a folder. So you will need to remove the folder and create the file and add the schema. And you also can find this file in the Git repo of Healenium. So let's go ahead and start our containers. And we can see the containers is started. And let's go and open the Healenium report page. We can see the page in here. And I created a small web page to test and show how Healenium is working. Right, so if we enter the hello and we click show, we'll see that this text is being displayed in here. So we started our Healenium, we get this web page, and this is our tests which we would like to run. I'm going to show you how to run it locally, and also I'm going to show you how to run it in Selenium Grid. So I have my browser driver factory in here. It's all regular with just the WebDriver and everything. The only thing which is different is we create this Healenium in here, Healenium interface, and we get our driver and we add the driver into the create function, self-healing driver.create. So what is going to happen when we run our tests? So let's see. Let's run it locally. So page is running. It's gonna enter a word. It's gonna click show, and the test is over. Basically it passed, right? Here we go. So it passed. Now for Healenium to work, you will need actually to run the self-healing driver first time with the correct identifiers. So this was a regular driver. As you can see from the code, this was a regular driver with those identifiers which are correct. So we will need to add those in here first. And we have our BTN, which is the correct driver. We're gonna run the self-healing driver now, locally. run locally. Same thing happens. We click the shell. It's all good, right? So now let's go ahead and change some identifiers in our web page. So let's put, I don't know, my input and my BDN, my input. So when we go into this folder, we can see that Healenium saved some of the selectors from the previous run. So now those selectors are changed. When we go into our page, we can see that they're different. It's my input and my BTN. So now when we run the regular driver, it's gonna fail, right? Let me put for the sake of example to be it faster, 3 seconds. Okay. So now we're running the regular driver, and now it's gonna show me no such element exception. As expected, it failed. When we go in here, that's what we get. It says that it cannot find this element. Now let's run our self Healenium. So what is going to happen in this case? Because it cannot find it, it's gonna traverse the DOM, it's gonna find, it's gonna fix that, it's gonna tap the hello and it's gonna click, and now it is passing. So this is how it works, right? So it takes the previous ones and then it tries to locate those inputs, those something similar in the DOM, and it changes the locators, but it's not going to change it in your code. It's just going to make your task pass. And then we'll go in here. It's still going to keep the same as a record. Same XPath for the record. So now let's try and see how it works with our hub. So with our Selenium grid. So to make that work with the Selenium grid, there's a couple ways how we can do that. So let me stop first our containers. To run the Selenium grid locally, you will need actually a different file. You will need in your Docker Compose file, you will need to add also an extra parameters for running Selenium Hub, Chrome. I'm gonna also add an Edge and Firefox just in case if I want to run on a different browser. So what how else you can do that in case if you don't want to add it to the same Docker Compose file, you can just create a separate file to run that. So let us go and run those files and see how it works. So this I'm gonna run the file which has all the components in it, and I believe it's this one. No, it's the other one. So it has also Healenium, it has Selenium grid, and everything all together in one. So let me run it. Go A3 swarm. Made a mistake. Okay, here we go. So running all the containers. Go down here, I can see all the containers are running. Let us go into Selenium Hub. Here we go, Selenium Grid. We can see our 3 nodes is running. So now to run this file, I'm gonna use one of the runners I created beforehand. I'm gonna use the XML runner. So, and we're gonna run in our tests. We're gonna run the no healing grid just for sake of example. It's pretty much gonna be the same, but just wanted to show you how it works. So we're gonna include this in here. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch my locators to the correct one. I'm gonna remove my from here. Good. So now we're gonna go in here, go, they're back to normal. So let's run in Docker Compose. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna see when the session started, and go, session is started. We can see our grid is running. Disk is in here, it's gonna click hello. There you go. So the test passed. All right, good, it's working. So now let us go and change those one back to different one. To change the locators. And now let's run the same test. Okay, when we go and open, take a look, it's gonna fail. There we go, the test failed. So now let's run our self-healing grid, our self-healing driver. Self-healing trying grid, so I'm gonna run this. Oops. Here we go. And let's run and let's take a look how it works. It's gonna be pretty much the same. Go, it opened. Oh, we actually need to run. Okay, so yeah, we need to change that back. We actually need to run it first with the correct ones in order for that to work. So let me run it. So the self-healing driver, it remembers. Okay, so the test passed. So when we go back in here, you can see it's different URLs. That's why on the first time it didn't work, because to run the web page, which is local with using Docker containers, you need to change the URL to do that. So now we're gonna go to our page. We're gonna change our locators. Going to our page, we can see locators are changed to a different one. Yeah, it was changed to a different one in a different host. So if we go and open this host, it should be different. Let's pick that. Okay, here we go. Now let's, it wasn't Dockerized container. So let's run again. As you can see, it found it. Click and show, and this time it passed. Here we go. So if you planning to use the self-healing driver, you'll need to add some minor adjustment, and that's how it's going to work. Now, so here's one more thing that I personally would do in case if you're running local, because this now as a part of our local setup, if the Docker is not up and running, our regular local run is not going to work because it's part of it. So what do I mean by that? So let me close our containers. Okay, cool. Let me change my locators back. My web page. Now let me run a regular test case. For example, I wrote the code, I want to test it locally. I don't want to run it on a grid, just on a local setup. Because my Docker Compose is not up and running, I'm going to get this Healenium exception. Right, it's gonna complain that unable to connect the HTML backend server. So what I would do, I would create another case to avoid that. I would get a self-healing. There we go. Remove that in here, and I'm just gonna copy paste this one in here, and I'm gonna remove this one from here. So this way you don't block your local run in case if you want to just quickly check something and you don't want to run a Docker container for that purpose. So you can just create an extra switch statement for that, and here we go. Now it's gonna work. So now the Healenium, self-Healenium browser is not blocking me from running any local tests. And that's it. That was the whole training video. Thank you. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment. Thank you.